Now in the PWHL as well. Great to have them on board here today for what should be a great game between Breck and Blake. The third meeting of the regular season between these teams, and it will be the final one of the regular season. There's a very good chance these two teams could meet at the state tournament next month, but the previous matchups, last one came just 10 days ago on New Year's Eve. Breck won that one 4-0 over Blake. They won the first game 4-2. So Breck looking to complete a 3-game sweep of the Blake Bears here on their home ice. As we are underway, we'll get to the starting goaltenders for you in just a moment for this one. But Breck and Blake underway as Blake will have it back in the defensive zone here as Weathington will try to stretch the ice here. And it'll go back into the zone for Breck. Cycled back in deep. We have a whistle and our first whistle of the game here. So we'll have the face-off to the right-hand side, or left-hand side, I should say, of the Breck goaltender, Milinkovic. And now a little confusion here at the Blake bench about who should be out on the ice. Off the face-off, it's taken by Breck. Behind the net, as they go up along the boards now. Mustangs and Bears meeting for the third time this year. As we mentioned, Breck winning the first two by scores of 4-2 and then 4-0 their last time out. Breck looking to dump it into the zone. That's off the stick of Hintzman, who will cycle it back here for Nestington. Turned over. Here's a chance for Breck. Off the post! Oh, a great look. McGaughan lost the stick in the process, and it stays out. Still scoreless. So it'll go back to the corner. Blake will pick it up. Williams cycles it back. And up the boards it goes. Uh-oh, chance up front for Breck, and they just send it high. It stays in off the shot opportunity there from Alexa Scherf, who was looking for goal number 15 already on the season. Blake now through center. Outnumbered was Anderson, as Breck will try to play it back in the defense zone. That was Larson in there. Chance out front, backhanded toward Milinkovic, and it's cleared out by Breck as it's dumped back in by Blake. Oh, nifty move by the stick of Dovenberg. And trying to play it up, but Blake intercepts, pardon me. Nice work by Ella Bond. 3 goals, 12 assists for Bond on the year so far. Now into the corner. Poked away as it's handled by the Mustangs, as their clearance attempt does not work initially. Blake able to keep the zone, but Breck still with possession. Here's a quick shot, jammed on the way through. A nice exit feed. Here's McKenna Schliemann into the zone. Schliemann, pass over, just jumped off the stick. Another try back out front as they were looking for Ashley Babbitt out in front. Off the boards. Schliemann trying to play it there for Breck. Also in there is Babbitt. Schliemann. Puck comes out of the zone. It'll be collected by Alexis Ulrich. 16 points for her on the year. Ulrich, block shot. Another chance. Drop back one more time. A big drive, and McGaughan will make the save. Terrific save from McGaughan there. 13:33 to go in the period. Breck, as we mentioned, 13-1-1, ranked number 2 in the state. The only team ahead of them right now, the Warroad Warriors, which is the team they lost to. That was their only loss of the year, was the team right in front of them. They also have a tie against the Dodge County Wildcats as well. And a lot of great things for both these teams, as we'll get into that as this game goes along. No one cleared out of the zone. It'll be hustled after here by Larson, who will play it for Breck. Milinkovic, your starter for Breck, 11-1-1 record, 0.76 goals against per game, in a .966 save percentage. That is incredibly impressive. Deflected here, save Milinkovic, as it's forced to the boards. And Milinkovic, by the way, doing this all as a 9th grader. Hand pass was going to be called, but Breck will play it, so that will negate that. So some impressive numbers for Milinkovic. Those are among the best in the state, by the way, and she would probably be a contender for the senior goalie of the year if she was a senior. And of course, a long way to go for that, but just incredible stuff from Milinkovic. Meanwhile, they do have a senior in goal for Blake, Janie McGaughan, who has almost equally impressive numbers, 1.17 goals against, .957 save percentage, 6 shutouts as well in the 14 wins for the Blake Bears. As it's dumped back in, McGaughan will leave it. Of course, McGaughan will be headed to Dartmouth College out east to play for the Big Green. Breck's got it back. This is Luoma. Now over to the wing for Casey Moose. Now battled for along the boards. Kenzie Williams, one of the top point getters for Blake. Here's a chance for Breck into the zone. Slowed down along the boards by Dovenberg as she'll try to get to it. Dovenberg. And almost kept in, but the puck will flutter out. Breck will come right back across the line. Schliemann down the wing, fanned on the pass toward goal. And Blake will try to clear as they get it past these outstretched stick of Moose. Here comes Blake into the zone now. Drop pass there is partially broken up by Babbitt, and they'll stretch the ice up ahead. Schliemann, good intercept by the stick of Nestingen. Breck wanted a penalty against Blake, but none will be called as it'll go back down low for Aaliyah LaFleur in the Breck zone. Schliemann on the exit pass. We'll send that one up through center and back out for the Mustangs, who take it here. LaFleur watched on the play, forced it up the boards. Instead, Blake will dump it. No icing here, though. And as Breck will pick it up, Taylor Hall, the sophomore with 24 points this year. Hard to believe, but Breck's so young as well. Not many seniors or even juniors, for that matter, on the team. Most of their star players are freshmen and sophomores. And it's just been remarkable to see how much this team has grown over the last couple of years. Similar story on the Blake side as well. They were really bad for a couple years, and then things turned around a lot the last couple of years. This year has been one of their best years that they've had since they have made it back to the state tournament. They were a AA program for a while. Look out, stretch pass in. Here they come. Strothman on a breakaway. McGaughan kicks it away. As Strothman, I think, lost the handle there at the end. And he stopped, though, regardless, by McGaughan. Back to the right-hand side. Strothman, pin up along the boards. Puck freed up. And Breck will play it now as it's sent forward by Larson. In on goal, McGaughan will hold on for the Bears. With 9:56 to go here in the first period of play. No score. Shots on goal are 4-1 in favor of the Breck Mustangs. Here from the Breck Anderson Ice Arena. Glad you could join us on MN Hockey TV. I'm Matt Harrington with you here for this one. Shot just goes wide on the attempt from Schliemann. Blake able to force it out as they'll come through center now. into the zone. Broken up there. Off a stick. Up through center and a trip. Penalty coming up to Blake at the next stoppage. Pass sent over by Ulrich, and it'll be touched now by Salonik, and we'll get our first penalty of this game. It will be a tripping call here with 9:28 to go in the period. And Breck will have the first power play of the game, 24% for the Mustangs. Really the story, though, in the special teams department for both teams is the Blake power play. #1 in the state, 97.1%. Look out here, though, as it's poked wide. Or wraparound try, loose in front of Magon, and cleaned up now by Heinmiller, who will dump it deep. And no icing, obviously, because of the penalty kill here for Blake. LaFleur. Now Breck over the line as they stay on side. Back across it goes. Ulrich will have to retrieve it at neutral ice. Back in over the line. Breck will dump that one in. 1:22 to go in the power play. Excellent keep by Ulrich. Down low. Here's Babbitt. Or pardon me, that is Taylor Hall, and she'll send it across. Back over for Ulrich. Her shot didn't quite get toward the net. Blake will try to slap it around and clear, but Ulrich will hold at the point. Here's Ulrich. Pass over. Back for Ulrich. Her shot say made. Rebound couldn't be handled as it's pushed to the corner by Hall. Now back over. Babbitt will go to the point. A change on offense, or a defender, and that one ricochets off the stick of LaFleur. Back down it goes. 35 seconds on the power play. Pass just missed Babbitt. Now Blake will send it high off the glass down the length of the ice. 25 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Bears. Breck leading the shots on goal 4-1. We've had some looks on this power play, but Blake has done a nice job to kill it off as they have just 10 seconds to go. Now trouble in front of Milinkovic as they recover that. That's Loma who will take it ahead. Now and over the line. Here's Strothman. Breck unable to convert on the power play now. 0 for 1 as Blake is full strength. Now sent off the boards. Picked up by Larson in front of the scorer's table area. They'll go back in. Salonik stretches the pass up ahead. No one dumped in by the Bears. On it for Blake is Mackenzie Williams. Also in there is Anderson. They'll trade places. Shot fanned on from the circle. Another try will deflect into the netting. And out of play as we get a whistle with 6:49 to go here in the first period of play. Face-off will be to the right of the goaltender, Milinkovic. Of course, Milinkovic is the sister of Eli Milinkovic, who plays here for the Breck boys team. Now into the corner. Here's a shot. That one catches the glass as it's picked up now by the Mustangs as they'll work it over to the far side boards. Player went down for Breck. Blake trying to dig it there as well. Williams will get it back to the point. Redirect goes wide of Milinkovic off a Breck stick. Now a pass up ahead. Trying to catch Blake in a change. Player went down along the boards. And Blake will look to scoop that off the boards and down the ice. 6 minutes to play in the first period. No score. And just one shot on goal so far for Blake in the period. Not much more for Breck. They only have 4 here in the first. Poked away by Blake. Breck will take it now and look to go off a stick. Gathered up by the Bears as they'll take it. Heinmiller will send it across as Blake will go D to D in their own end. 5:30 to go in the period. Puck intercepted there by LaFleur. Stretch pass goes too far. We'll get an icing call against Breck as we go back down to their end of the ice now. 5:24 left in the first period of play. Blake trying to avoid being swept in the regular season by Breck. They are 0 for 2 in that category. Lost 4-2 and 4-0. That 4-0 game happened just a week and a half ago on New Year's Eve. That was part of that Crosstown Cup event at Blake. Breck will force it into the zone as it will go deep here for Wethington. She'll send it around off the boards, and Blake will look to move up the ice. Stretch pass here for Nola Dahlem. Dahlem into the corner, took some contact there as that puck got freed up. Now a turnover in front, back to the point. Milinkovic will make the stop on the attempt there from Elizabeth Salonik, who was looking for goal number 3 on the season. 4:45 left to go here in the first period of play. 4-2, the shots in favor of Breck. Here's another one, kick save by Milinkovic. Now the puck goes to the line where it's kept in by Blake as they'll get it back down. Now a battle along the boards. Puck gets freed up. Here's Breck in over the line. Moves. Lost it there. Blake will move it forward. Here's Williams. Throws it on goal. Easy save there for Milinkovic. Williams outnumbered, still trying to stick with it. But the Mustangs do collect and drop it back with 3:57 to go in the first. That one deflects into the netting and out of play. Breck, by the way, or Blake, I should say, last 3 shots on goal in their favor, so they have tied up that category at 4 apiece. Face-off win by the Blake Bears. Hung around the boards by Palmstein. Now tossed toward Milinkovic, who will make the easy glove save. And that will bring up another whistle here with 3:45 to go in the first. This game was originally scheduled to start at 5:15, but a little bit of a delay because of the boys game going into overtime. Breck and Blake tying 2-2 in that boys game. Both games those two teams played during the regular season went to overtime. Look out, that puck comes to McGaughan, but she'll put the mitt on it there. Get another whistle with 3:28 left in the first. Faceoff will be to the right of McGaughan. Great numbers, as we mentioned, for McGaughan. Just a little over a goal per game allowed. 6 shutouts in 14 wins. That's very solid number for her. And just the 3 losses, 2 of which were to this Breck Mustangs team, which you're seeing on your screen right now in the white jerseys. Blake, of course, in the road blue and green. Beautiful jerseys that Blake has. And I have to say, as an announcer, you appreciate the white outline as well on the back of the numbers. That makes it easier to read. Always a plus when you can see the numbers. This is taken out by the Mustangs. In over the line they come. Play from the wing. Drop back for Larson, who lost the handle. Blake will come the other way. Here's Bond down the right-hand side. Will be dumped into the corner. End of the shift for Bond. So she'll come off for a change. Now to the corner. Blake trying to move it out. Or rather, keep it in. Breck trying to move it out. There's keep it alive. Williams will go up the boards. Breck intercepts. That one partially deflected back into the neutral zone. Bears off a skate. And here comes Breck the other way. Schliemann cutting in. Her shot scores! McKenna Schliemann finds the back of the net first. 1-0 Breck. 2:07 to go in the period. What a shot from Schliemann. That's her 12th of the year. And a terrific goal to open the scoring here in the first for the Breck Mustangs. On their 5th shot of the game, they have the opening goal. We'll get the scoring on that here in just a moment. Could not tell the second assist, but I did hear Ashley Babbitt's name called, so she will pick up the primary assist on the goal. That comes with just over 2 minutes to go in the period. And a 1-0 lead for the Breck Mustangs here, trying to defeat Blake for the 3rd time this season. Two teams, of course, in different sections. So there's a possibility, real possibility, I think, that both these teams could get to the state tournament. They'll probably both be the 1 seeds in their respective sections. Blake benefits from a little bit of a weaker section. Some of the normal top teams in that section down this year, including Holy Angels and South St. Paul. Obviously, there's still some tough opponents along the way. Sago Lakes will be a tough out for Blake in that section, but Breck obviously looking to be the favorite as well in their section. Orono having a little bit of a down year. That one just missed the mark. Can't count out West Tonka Southwest Christian though either. Here's Breck. Into the zone they come. That one dumped wide by Annie Moose. And the Bears will look to move it up the ice. That one just kept in. It'll go into the glove of McGaughan, who will hold on with 55.4 seconds left in the period. Shots are 5 apiece here in the first. Off the face-off. Breck still with it in the corner. Cycled back, looking for Strothman. Also in there for Breck is Scherf. Now Blake emerges free with it. So he'll take it out of the defensive zone. Jammed on the clearance attempt. Here comes Breck. Shot wide of the mark there from Hintzman. Now another opportunity is Breck able to keep it down low with 30 seconds, just under that, to go in the period. Now Blake with it. Up the boards. D to D at center. Bounced off the wall. Nestingen trying to play it here for the Bears. Stretch pass with 9 seconds. Bond couldn't handle it. Now one last chance for Breck. Collision in front. Player goes down, and that will do it for the first period of play as the Breck Mustangs will take a 1-0 lead into the first intermission. McKenna Schliemann with her 11th, check that, 12th goal of the year for Schliemann on the left side of your screen, and Breck will shoot on the right side as we're ready to go for the second. Shots on goal, as we mentioned in the first, were 5-5. Both teams with 5 shots apiece. And we'll be ready to go here for the second. Hard to believe, but just only a few weeks left in the girls' regular season. This is game number 18 for Blake, and it is game number 16 for the Breck Mustangs. Season goes quick, though, and of course playoffs will start the first week of February. Final regular season day is on the 31st of January for most teams. We have an early icing against Blake, so that means 3 weeks from today, these teams will pretty much be wrapping up their regular seasons. Been a fun year so far. Breck has had a terrific season up to this point, as have the Blake Bears. And both teams probably going to be number one in their section. And a very good possibility we could see these two teams at the state tournament at Grand Casino Arena in St. Paul. February 18th is the start of the state tournament for girls Class A. And of course is a Wednesday on the calendar. Here's Breck to the point. Long shot deflected wide of McGaughan. Now a foot race toward the loose puck. It'll be batted out by Blake. It will not be an icing here, as Ulrich will leave it behind the net for Moose. Now Moose off the stick. Blake will intercept. Pass broken up. Ulrich tried to get there for Breck and kept alive by the Bears. Now a chance out in front of Milinkovic, who fought it off. Nice play there. Williams sends it to the boards. Salonik also there as well. Ulrich now trying to make a play. Puck cleared down. The ice being a little wet might have slowed that puck down a little bit. So no icing. As Blake will come across the line. Here they come. Chance toward the front. It just hopped off the stick, though, of Hahn, it looked like. Pardon me, that was O'Shea for Blake. Now to the point. Good keep off the boards. Blake in the middle of a change as Breck will get that puck out of the zone. Collision along the wall. Puck comes free for Bond, who throws it on goal. Milinkovic the save. And now Breck will send it out, but it ends up in the Blake bench for a stoppage. 14:43 to go here in the second period. 2 shots this period for Blake. None so far over the course of the first 2.5 minutes for the Breck Mustangs. Breck will pick up the loose puck now as Larson will send it across the line. Blake grabs it here. Palmstein trying to move it up the boards. In come the Bears down the wing. Pass across, intercepted nicely by the stick of Lang, and a hard hit along the wall. Now Dovenberg will get it down to the ice. She's knocked down. We'll have a penalty coming here to Blake, presumably for, looks like roughing. Thought maybe it was going to be interference, but so Breck will go back to the power play for the second time this game, where they are 0 for 1. And the penalty assessed to Layla Dahlem of Breck. We'll go to the box for 2 minutes. 14:01 to go in the period. Power play for Breck, 0 for 1 with the extra skater. Now up to the point. Ulrich holds. Loose puck in front, blocked by the Bears as they'll clear it down. Now foot race. Good work to get to that puck, though, by Aaliyah LaFleur, the sophomore defender for Breck. Now Blake, shorthanded, able to kill off some important time there. And the Mustangs will come back across the offensive line. A little bit of a disjointed entry. Slapped up the boards. That one jumps the stick of Ulrich, and it got past her. Here's Blake down the wing. Shot saved by the blocker of Milinkovic, who made a nice play to keep that puck out. Now Breck trying to pick it up. Ulrich will race into the zone. Ulrich down the boards. She'll backhand it to the corner here with 57 seconds to play. Behind the net it goes. Off a skate. Now Breck will pick up the loose puck near the left circle. Into the corner, right into the hands of the Bears, who will clear. Back in over the line comes Larson for Breck. Here's Larson, drop behind the net. As they find an open teammate, now cross ice, intending it for Loma, just out of her reach. Now back to the far side. Up top, Larson lets it go, partially deflected on the block shot. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Up top, Larson lets it go, doesn't get through to McGaughan, and the Bears will get it out of the zone once more. Just a few seconds remaining on the power play for Breck. Larson will stretch the ice here. Back into the zone. 0 for 2 now is the Breck power play, as Blake able to kill it off for the second time. Bears will take the puck now. They have the shots on goal advantage as well. 8-5 as this puck picked up. Here's Williams, dropped it back. Nobody home though for the Bears, as Strothman tries to get to it first. And it's still loose. Finally picked up by Strothman. Blake trying to re-enter the zone. They stay on side. Here's the shot blocker save by Milinkovic off the attempt from O'Shea. Still working there along the boards. Into the corner. Battle for it along the wall. One worked up the wall. Breck will take a hold of it as Hall will send that one out of play. Was looking for a teammate up the ice, but instead it will go out for a stoppage. 11:05 to go here in the second period of play. Breck and Blake, third meeting of the year. Breck won the first two, 4-0 and 4-2. The final scores of those matchups respectively. Milinkovic will steer that one away. Into the corner, Ulrich trying to stretch the ice there for Schliemann. Schliemann has the only goal for Breck, should say for anyone in this game. 1-0 lead for the Mustangs as we're approaching the 10.5-minute mark to go in the second. Long stretch pass. Ooh, off the referee's skate. That prevented an icing for Breck. And so Mustangs will take that. Now up through center. Dumped in by Blake as Wethington gets that one in. Up the boards. Breck able to clear the zone. Will be picked up by the Bears in their own end as they try to cycle in front of the Blake bench. Now Schliemann toward the front, was looking for a teammate. And back the other way comes Blake. Maybe a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Down the right wing side. Goes to the corner, back out front. Just a bit too far out of the reach there. And now a foot race as Loma couldn't handle. Now another chance just over the top on the attempt from Lafleur. Good looks for Breck. And this game still remains 1-0 on the score sheet. Kept alive by the stick of Lafleur. She'll poke it down a little bit further. Now Lafleur out front and poked wide by Dovenberg, who had all day to get that one off. Now another chance. That's partially blocked. Poked out. Breck will recover though. And the Bears get it as Arthur sends it deep. Back after it is Hall, who lost her step. Chance maybe for Breck, and a good intercept off the read there by Crable. Bears will send it around to the other side in the offensive zone now with under 9 minutes to play in the period. From the corner. Goes back down low. Cycled behind the net. Heinmiller up to the point. First shot on goal. Milinkovic reads that one. Does not allow an opportunity for a rebound. A nice save by Milinkovic here with 8:40 left in the second. Almost at the halfway mark of the hockey game. Face off won by Breck. As they poke it out. Great hustle by Scherf. Here's Scherf. And just missed for Breck. They try to double their lead to 2-0. Now backhander toward goal again. McGaughan will make the save off the attempt there. In tight from Alexis Scherf, one of the top goal scorers for Breck this year with 14 goals. In fact, I think she does lead the team. Schliemann with 12, not far behind, had one earlier in the game today. Off the face-off as Blake will move it out. Rolling puck, and it'll be icing here against the Bears. As Williams will go back down to her end of the ice. Shots on goal were 5-5 after one. It is 5-1 in favor of Blake, though, this period so far. Bears will send that up the boards. No icing, so it's waved off. Artemiuk will take it. And look out, a turnover here in front. Blake trying to get to the loose puck. What? Dahlem. Knocked down to the ice. Puck picked up by the Mustangs. Strothman able to get it out. And it does go down the other way. Strothman in a foot race. Hard collision along the boards. Saved by McGaughan in close. Rebound covered by McGaughan. I like the referee's decision to let that go. No penalties called. Just two players in a foot race. And even though the hard crunch along the boards, nice work by McGaughan to recognize that situation. 7:34 left in the second. Face-off one by Breck. That one's toward the front, just missed somebody on the back door. Here comes Blake the other way. Arthur getting to it first was LaFleur. And Breck will try to move it out, but a good keep. Here's Arthur in the slot. Broken up, didn't get through. Another try for the Bears. Just missed the mark as it's cleaned up in front by the Breck defense. Larson in there as well. Now Hall able to send that deep for Babbitt, who's knocked down to the ice. Blake after it in the corner. It'll be rung around the near side boards. Bears trying to clear, but right now Breck able to keep the zone, at least for the time being. Come back in, delayed offside. And Breck had to do an extended tag up there, but it won't matter as Blake dumps it into the zone. Milinkovic will let that one go to be handled by her defense. Ulrich up the boards. Dovenberg got caught in the skate of Williams. She'll send it deep. Milinkovic lost track of it there for a moment. Ulrich there to assist. Good keep. Here's Williams, and that one got deflected off Crable and out of play. So get a whistle with 6:04 left in the second. Probably one of the better chances that the Blake Bears have had up to this point. Into the corner it goes. Now up to the point. That one batted down with a high stick. Now Breck will play it, so they will clear it out. Don't think this has enough for an icing. Wethington trying to play it for the Bears. Not deflects off a stick. Artemuk, the 8th grader, will play it ahead for Breck. Puck picked up by Blake. Off the boards. Nice pass over. Here they come. Kick Malinkovic, denying the attempt from the diving Williams. Now back up front. Another try. Rolls to Malinkovic, who will hold on for a whistle. 5:13 to go in the second period. What a game this has been. Very similar to our boys game that we had between these two teams earlier. Not a lot of goals. 1-0 the score here in favor of Breck. On the goal from Kenneth Schliemann, 12th of the year. Bears trying to keep the zone. Nice stick to get that out by Scherf, who will play it up the boards. Now Scherf holding, shooting, and McGaughan will put the glove on that to make the save. With 4:53 to play in the period. Pardon me, 5 minutes exactly. Face off to the right of McGaughan. These two teams, if they were to meet again this year, would be in the state tournament in late February. Who knows? Very well could happen. Both teams will probably be favored in their sections as the puck was flipped up out of play. Breck looking like they'll have the #1 seed in their section. They defeated Orono the other night. 5-2 the final. And Blake, some of the mainstays that have come out of their section, including Holy Angel, South St. Paul, having a little bit of a down year, so that certainly benefits the Blake Bears. Off the face-off. It's been fun to see this. Both these programs, I guess, have a little bit of a revival. Of course, multiple state championships for each of these programs, and went through a couple of rough years, but they are both on the rise after a bit of a rebuilding period, if you will. Blake will clear it out and will go back down into the Breck zone where Ulrich will retrieve. Partially deflected forward. Shot goes well wide on the attempt as it goes past McGaughan. Ulrich able to keep it off the shin guard. Deposited back down low, and what do we have here? Maybe too many skaters on the ice? No. Coincidental minor penalties. Ulrich and it looks like Hannah Jones to the box. And we're going to play 5-on-5. So Jones and Ulrich will be able to come out after the first whistle past 2:06. So we will play 5-on-5. Off the face-off. That one sent in deep. 4 minutes to go in the second. Still 1-0. Nobody able to score here so far in the second. Into the corner. Strothman off the boards. Up to the point. LaFleur lets it fly. Loose puck kicked away. McGaughan. Another try doesn't get toward the goal. Now back up top. LaFleur holds. Looking for a redirect in front. McGaughan down. She's got it. And the whistle will blow with 3:33 to go. So McGaughan coming up with a couple of big saves here as Breck starts to get some shots on goal. We're currently playing 5-on-5. Off the face-off. Blake trying to clear. Kept alive by Breck. Off a defender's stick. Blake, nice exit pass. Now come up the boards. And a Breck recovery defensively there as Hall will stretch the ice. That one deflects in off of Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt, the sophomore, having a good year. 8 goals, 11 assists for her. Now Breck with another chance in close and stopped there, denying the attempt from McKenna Schliemann, who was looking for her second goal of the game. 2:46 left in the period. Only 2 penalties in this game. I guess technically 4, but only 2 power plays out of this game. Both power plays were for Breck. They're 0 for 2, and now we get a whistle here. I believe a hand pass was called. Take it back to the Breck zone. Clean face-off win for the Bears. And they go back down low. Arthur tripped up. Penalty coming here to Breck at the next stoppage. Arthur to the point. Here's the shot. Milinkovic the save. Bears still trying to get that puck, and now it'll be touched by Breck. But a tripping call coming up against the Breck Mustangs. And we'll have our first power play of the game for Blake, as Molly Larson will go to the box for tripping with 2:25 to go in the second. This power play will be for most of the rest of the period if they don't score, with 25 seconds left on it. Back referee says nobody was set yet, so we'll do things again. Off the face-off. Chance for Blake to tie the game, but a good start to the clears. It was broken up by Schliemann, and she'll send it down the ice as McGaughan will leave it behind the net. 1:47 to go on the power play. That one into the zone. Milinkovic will play it behind the net. LaFleur there as well, trying to eat some more of this time off the clock. Blake has it in the corner. O'Shea up to the point. Shot from Bond got partially deflected. LaFleur will try to clear. Another chance, and Bond will throw it toward goal, but a nice save made by Milinkovic, who will hold on to it here. 1:43 to go in the period. 1:19 on the power play for Blake. LaFleur will come off now. Some new penalty killers out there for the Mustangs. Mean face-off win for Blake. Sent over by Heinmiller. Back up to the point. Here's the shot, and may have been blocked in front. Couldn't tell if Milinkovic got a piece of that or not. Now a collision along the wall. Blake takes it out. Oh, they were looking for Heinmiller in front. And Breck with a nice effort to clear it down, but it is offside, as Blake was able to get that puck out before Blake came back in offside. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off here. 1:17 to go in the period. 53 seconds left on the power play for the Blake Bears. Down 1-0. A great opportunity for them. Try and tie the game before the end of the period. Here's Bond toward the front, unable to get it through. Ulrich will clear, and Bond will pick it up now for Blake. 1 minute to go in the second on this power play that has 30 seconds left for the Blake Bears. Ulrich up the boards, kept alive. Pinching in to make a play there is Wethington. Shot in front, blocked, and cleared by Breck, who will get it out of the zone. And it will go back now for Ella Bond. Breck trying to backhand it to the corner. Instead, picked up by the Bears, who have some space here with 30 seconds to go. Penalty about to expire. Milinkovic pad save, rebound. Just missed the side of the net. Full strength, look out. Here comes Breck the other way. 3-on-1 developing. Here's a chance over for Schliemann, just too far. Schliemann will cycle it back. 12 seconds to go in the period. One last chance for the Mustangs here in the second. Forced up the boards. Blake will get it out, but that will do it for the second period of play, as it's 1-0 in favor of Breck after 2 periods. Shots on goal are 14-9 in favor of Blake, but they did as we enter this third period of play. That was back in the first period. We'll see what we get in period number 3 between these teams, as Blake will control it here to open the third period. Puck was loose, and the Bears are trying to take it away. Teams, of course, switching sides here as well for the third, as Blake moves from left to right across your screen, and right to left moves Breck. Play is picked up by Breck as they move into the zone. Here's Ulrich down the wing. Ulrich left it out front, nobody home. Blake rather will shovel that one to the boards, as it apparently jumped into the Breck bench there for a moment. Sometimes you get your tongue twisted up between these two teams. Of course, they sound so similar. One syllable. Same starting letter of B. As it's sent down, Milinkovic will play it there for Breck. 16:01 to go, just getting started here with the third period. There's a chance for Blake, and Milinkovic fights it off. Had to go upstairs for that one as they tried to pick the corner. Now sent around to Anderson. Racing to the boards there is Salonik. Couldn't hold. Breck looked like they were going to come 3-on-2 the other way, but good active stick there from O'Shea. Now into the zone. Drop back toward the slot area as Anderson tries to move it towards the wall. We're a minute and a half into the third period. Now Breck down the wing. Here they come. This is Scherf. Tossed out front, nobody home in white. Breck was in the middle of a change. Now picked up by Larson. In over the line, back for Larson. Pad save, they score! On the rebound, Molly Larson doubles the Breck lead early in the third. Great persistence by Larson, and it didn't take long, less than 2 minutes into the period. That'll be her 5th goal of the season. Looked like she got her own rebound there as well for Breck, and so it's a 2-0 lead as Breck now with 2 even strength goals here to give them the lead. Annie Moose picking up the primary assist on that goal for Breck, as they have extended their lead to 2-0. Obviously a long way to go, but Blake trying to look for an answer. Here's a big windup, deflected, and couldn't be put home by a blue and green jersey there in front. Now to the boards as it's forced away by Breck. Blake will keep it at the line. Shot blocked by a Breck player. That was Dovenberg, but unable to be cleared. Good pushback here from Blake after giving up the second goal as they keep it alive in the zone. Here's a shot from the slot area, and Milinkovic got some contact there from a Blake player, but will play on. Now Breck to the boards. So we'll go to the far side in the middle of a change here as well. as the Mustangs take it over the line. Played back out front in a collision along the boards as Babbitt went down. She was the intended target on that sequence. Milinkovic will ring this one around. Along the wall. Good speed from Schliemann, who has one of the 2 Breck goals so far. And Williams will race it forward. Here's Williams, drop pass. Couldn't find a teammate. Now Taylor Hall will take it down the wing. Here's Hall with speed. Hall across, and nice work by McGaughan to get a piece of that, break that up, and deflect it out of play with 13:07 to go. That puck stuck in the netting. So we'll get a new puck here from the officials. Off the face-off. Sent around by the Bears as Anderson tried to clear the zone. Now Blake will take it once more. Here comes the Bears down the wing. Dahlem, kick save Milinkovic. Rebound cleaned up by Ulrich, but turned it over near the face-off dot. And Breck will take this one out of the zone. Now Breck trying to keep the offensive line. Instead, it is Blake who comes the other way. Picked up now by Williams. Here's Williams over the line, had it knocked aside. And Breck will take it in over the line. Hintzman will fire it in deep. McGaughan will leave it for her teammate, Catherine Kyle, right there. Now Breck back in on side as they stick with it. Dovenberg back over to the wing. Lafleur, backdoor feed, chopped at in front as McGaughan had some contact there with the Breck player. And Breck will take it back through center. Moves. Got an assist on that last goal. McGaughan way out to play this one. She'll swing it up the wall. Blake trying to find a teammate up ahead. Instead, it will result in icing with 11:46 to play here in the third period. 2-0 lead for Breck. They scored once in the first period of play, once in the third as well. The face-off. One run around by Wethington. Puck will jump into the Blake bench, and so we'll get a new face-off here. I believe this is going to be in the neutral zone, and it will. So again, this is a Breck team, 13-1-1 on the year. 2 of those wins are against this very Blake team, 4-0 and 4-2. 4-0 was the win a couple of weeks ago. Actually, less than 2 weeks ago. It was on New Year's Eve. As Babbitt will cycle it back here for Breck. Into the corner, it will go. Taylor Hall trading places there with Larson, who scored moments ago. Now over to the boards. Schliemann racing there. Back to the point. Larson tried to go for Schliemann out of her reach. And now in there as well was Hall, but Blake will get to it first. As the Bears try to clear the zone. They do tangle up, and no penalty coming here. Thought there might be one for tripping, but not the case. There's Taylor Hall into the zone. She'll dump that one wide. McGaughan will steer it away with the goal stick. As the Bears will come up the ice. Here they come. Williams into the zone. A one-on-one battle there is won by Ulrich, who tries to clear. Now Ulrich will get to the puck first as she sends it up the far boards. Ulrich pinning it along the wall. Puck comes free, taken by Strothman. Now that puck will be picked up by Blake as they send it off the boards. Partially deflected into the zone. And Breck will get it down the length of the ice. 9:55 to go here in the third. 2-0 lead for Mustangs. Trying to get their 14th win of the year here in game number 17. Pardon me, game number 16 for Breck. Game number 18 for Blake. We have an offside call, which will halt play. Breck, by the way, 2 goals on 11 shots. Very uncharacteristic for McGaughan to give up 2 goals on 11 shots. Save percentage of .957 entering today. That puck, I think, almost went into the trash can that was on the Blake bench. We'll do things over again in the Bears zone. You look at this Blake team too, they are certainly one of the better teams in Class A. No question about that. In fact, they only have 1 loss to a team that's not named Breck, and that was to Dodge County, 4-1. So Blake, it's been a tough team to beat. This has been a good game for Breck up to this point. Blake into the zone, swing it over in front, cleaned up in front of Milinkovic. And LaFleur will play it ahead, partially deflected, I thought. And maybe not. This is going to be icing here. I thought Breck maybe got a piece of that to negate the icing, but not the case. So we'll go back down to the Mustangs end. 9:07 to play. Face-off in the Breck zone. Here's a chance right off the face-off. Milinkovic got a piece. Here's a drive, and a puck finally comes out. Here comes Breck into the zone. Chance down the right wing, and an easy glove save for McGaughan off the opportunity there from Taylor Hall, who was searching for her 12th goal of the year. Breck will keep the same group out there. Anderson will take her place along that left far wall hash mark. And puck comes up to the point. LaFleur, Ulrich will scoop it down low. Now pressured along the wall. Now puck stolen away from Babbitt as Heinmiller will take it through center. Brenna Heinmiller forced to the outside, knocked away. That holds up that entry as Blake comes in over the line. That shot deflected on the way through as they battle along the boards. Now behind the net. Up to the point. Here's a shot well wide of Milinkovic from Salinik as it is played along the near side boards now. Nice pass. And up ahead comes Taylor Hall to the boards. Breck trying to stay onside. That puck got turned over to Blake. And now along the boards. Poked away. Breck will take it. 3-on-3 if they hurry. A nice play defensively from Blake. They'll prevent any further action on that chance. 7:38 left. Breck 2, Blake nothing. Here at the Breck Anderson Ice Arena. I'm Matt Harrington with you here from Golden Valley. Thanks for joining us. Over it goes. LaFleur partially deflected on the shot through. Wethington trying to clear the ice. No icing here. Look at the foot race there. As what an effort from the Bears. And now trying to grab that loose puck as well. No one just wide of Milinkovic. You can sense the urgency a little bit now from Blake in their game. Puck goes down the ice. It will be an icing here as Scherf couldn't get to it first for Breck. Under 7 to play here in regulation. 2-0 the score. 17 saves for Milinkovic. 10 for the goaltender on the other end for Blake, Janie McGaughan. Great goaltending matchup here today. We Kind of expected this to be a low-scoring game with both goaltenders so good. Off the face-off. Gets back to the blue line, and it was off. Did not hold the zone. Breck will take it now. Nice stick by Williams to break that up. Now Williams battling in front of the Breck bench area. Ayers trying to come back in. Sent over to the side. Here's the shot. Glove save from Bryn Heinmiller's shot. Save, of course, made by Malinkovic. So we get another stoppage here. 6:29 to go. And faceoff will be to the left of the goaltender Malinkovic. Blake getting everybody set on this face-off. And forced to the boards. And that one comes out of the zone. Now battle in front of the Blake bench. Breck able to get it toward goal. Magan will just hold on for the whistle here. 6:08 to go. As we mentioned, this is the final time these teams are meeting during the regular season. There's certainly a possibility they can meet at the state tournament. Breck will be at Benilde St. Margaret's on Tuesday. That should be a fun game. That game, of course, you can watch right here on MN Hockey TV. Then they'll be back here for a 3-game homestand after that. And we'll get more into the schedules for both teams later. 6 minutes to play. Blake down by 2. Looking for at least one to try and give them some life here, but Malinkovic has stopped all 18 shots she has faced. Now it's taken by Williams up the boards. And pushed down, penalty coming to Breck. As McKenna Schliemann will go to the box. Tripping the call on Schliemann. Blake will get their second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1 with 5:37 to go. And we'll see what we get on this power play chance. This is a big one. Very well could decide if they stay in this game or not. Up at the point, Bond will go now back for Bond in front. Loose puck, Malinkovic makes the save. Great stop there from Malinkovic. Only 13 seconds ticked off the penalty so far. Now off the face-off. Breck battling there. That puck came loose in front. Mustangs trying to clear. And that puck is forced out, but Blake does take possession. Rung back in. And Blake will pick it up. Ella Bond, 3 goals on the year, 12 assists. Here's Bond, tried to send it through the blue paint. Couldn't find a teammate on the other end. Now back over, missed the pass along the boards. O'Shea still behind the net. Up to the face-off circle. Deflected on the way through. Malinkovic standing tall. Now back along the right wing side. 48 seconds to go on the power play. Here's the shot, it's blocked. Nicely done again by Strothman. The Breck bench loving the effort from their squad on this penalty kill. Now knocked away from Wethington, who will try to reconnect with a teammate. This is Heinmiller through center. Heinmiller slows it down for the Bears as they'll swing it to the far boards. Racing after it is Salinik. And Breck able to get it out of the zone. McGaughan thought about coming to play it, but her teammates will take care of it instead as Heinmiller has it. Just 8 seconds left on the Bears power play. Felt like they had to get one on this power play. Look out. Here comes Breck the other way. Hard collision along the boards. And Blake able to clear that down the ice once more. It will not be an icing, says the referee. 3:23 to go. Blake with the puck on their sticks as they enter the zone. Easy glove save for Milinkovic. Will hold on. 22nd save of the night for her. So, offensive zone face-off. 3:15 left for Blake as they trail by 2 goals in this game. Physical play along the boards. Breck will take it out. It's dumped in for McGaughan, who will wisely hold on for a whistle. Just 13 shots on goal for Breck in this game, but here they are, leading 2-0. Schliemann and Larson, your goal scorers for Breck in this game. As Blake takes it off the face-off. Breck will dump it in. McGaughan leaves it behind the cage. Wethington spin away from trouble. One of the many Wethingtons that have come through this Blake program over the years. That one broken up by Breck as Blake is forced to turn back. Wethington connects there with Mackenzie Williams. Her shot goes way into the netting and out of play. Not sure if there was a deflection in there or not. 2:29 left, too. We'll keep an eye to see if Janie McGaughan comes to the Blake bench here for the extra attacker. We do have an offensive zone face-off to work with. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Both of the goals in this game from Breck have come at even strength. This is Ulrich off the face-off and trying to get it out. That one deflects off a skate. And here comes Breck into the zone, battling for possession. Along the wall, thrown out front, good intercept by the Blake Bears. So force it back out through center. Ulrich will go D-to-D here for Strothman. And look, almost a turnover, but Strothman recovers nicely for Breck. Blake with only 1:50 to try and find 2 goals here to tie this game up. Otherwise, Breck will beat them for the 3rd time this season. Always tough to beat a team 3 times in a row in the same season, but Breck is on the verge of doing that here. Now poked away. Here comes Blake back into the zone, spinning away from trouble, and it's forced away by Larson. Now into the corner. One's off a glove. It is forced out by Breck. Here comes the Mustangs. Kick save by McGaughan. Another opportunity is taken to the corner. Cycled off the wall. Forced back in deep as it's Hall after it. Now we have just 1 minute to go in the 3rd. See if McGaughan decides to come to the bench. Blake still has to get possession, though. Looks like they're going to just keep her in with a 2-goal lead, or a 2-goal deficit, I should say. Flipped out along the boards. Here comes Blake. Pass over. Milinkovic shuts the door. Best save of the game for Milinkovic, and it comes with just 30 seconds left. Icing against Breck. What a stop from Milinkovic to deny what would have been a huge goal for the Blake Bears. .1 seconds to go. And we will get a timeout from the Blake Bears coaching staff as they trail 2-0 here with 25.1 seconds to go. We'll take a timeout as well. I'm Matt Harrington with you here from Golden Valley. Breck holding on to a 2-0 lead late. Timeout just about over. Breck trying to hold on here down the stretch for what would be their 14th win of the year. The Mustangs entering today at 13-1-1. Blake 14-3 on the year. 2 of those 3 losses were to this very Breck team, who they are at risk of losing to once again. Milinkovic will take her place in goal. Interestingly, McGaughan stays in goal. Surprised a little that Blake did not decide to pull her, as Milinkovic will steer that one away to the boards. 20 seconds left along the wall. Now poke toward the front. Breck will send it off the boards. Puck comes out of the zone. A hard hit collision along the boards. Looked like it. Now back over the line comes Blake. Time, though, will run out, and that will do it here from the Anderson Ice Arena, as for the 3rd time this year, the Breck Mustangs defeat their arch rival, the Blake Bears, this time by a final score of 2-0. It is the 3rd victory of the year and the 2nd shutout victory for Breck over Blake. They previously won 4-0 just 10 days ago, a little bit closer this time. 2-0 the final score.